Hey friends, I hope y'all are having a great day today. If you're new, my name's Alicia and today's video is another $5 one-day challenge where I fed my family of 7 for one day for only $5, and that's 21 meals. I think this one has definitely been my favorite as of yet, and I hope that y'all enjoy, and let's get started. So of course we're starting off with the groceries as always. And normally I try to do these challenges from Walmart because it's easy for exact replication purposes. However, my favorite grocery budget saving tip is to shop sales and markdowns. You can save so much money by doing so. So that is what I'm doing for this day. So the potatoes were on sale for 40 cents a pound if you bought a 5-pound bag. So I gave myself 3 pounds for $1.20. Then we've got the turkey. It was marked down for $1.79. The bread was marked down to 49 cents. The bananas were 50 cents a pound. And I want to say that it was around 30 to 33 cents for those three. The tomatoes were under 20 cents. And the onions were on sale for 99 cents for all 3 pounds. I want to say the total was $4.95, but I'll put it in the description for y'all. For breakfast, we're doing O'Brien style hash brown potatoes, and of course you can also do the shredded hash brown potatoes. However, the way that I like to do mine is I like to cook them in my Instant Pot the night before, like the whole potatoes of course, and then stick them in the fridge overnight and then shred them with the cheese grater the next day. I know there's a lot of people that have had great success with just grating the raw potatoes. I, however, am not one of those people, so I just didn't want to test it out for this day because I knew that I would be able to be successful with these type of potatoes. So for these, of course, you just want to cut up your potatoes nice and small, get your pan super hot, add some oil, and then add in your potatoes, being careful not to burn yourself whenever adding them in. And then let them sit a while before, trying to turn them. That way you get nice, crispy, golden brown deliciousness. On the side, we're also going to have sliced bananas. I chose to slice them because it's kind of easier to divide them up that way versus trying to, do the math of 3 bananas for 7 people. Yada, yada, yada. So I'm just going to slice them up and have the bananas on the side. And as you can see, this is absolutely delicious. We literally just seasoned the potatoes with salt and pepper and good to go. Absolutely fantastic. I used 3 of the potatoes for this breakfast for everybody. And then of course I used all 3 bananas. And then we've got 6 potatoes left over for the rest of the day. And you could also top this with ketchup or hot sauce. I love hot sauce, but it's good. For lunch, I'm making something that I've never made before this. And I'd only had it once before making it. And it was from a can. And I wasn't the biggest fan of it. So I didn't have extreme confidence going into this meal that I normally do whenever I'm trying new meals. I was very iffy about it, to be quite honest. So I took all but 2 of my onions and I chopped them up, and then I've got the onions that are sliced, sauteing up and caramelizing, and then all of the onion peels in the pot with just water. No salt, no nothing on anything. Everything is unseasoned by this point. Oh, and if I forgot to mention, in case you hadn't guessed it already, we're making French onion soup. So this beautiful broth that you see here, it has absolutely nothing added to it except for the onion peels. And it's beautiful. It doesn't need any colorings or anything. And that really shocked me because, they put colorings in everything nowadays, it seems like. And I really didn't need it. Anywho, so now I'm going to strain off my broth because I think it's pretty good. And I'm putting a coffee filter at the bottom of my pasta strainer because I don't have one of those fine mesh strainers. And I was afraid that some of the little stringy root bits might have went through. So I'm gonna just strain my broth, and then I'm gonna rinse out my pot because it had some of the stringy root pieces in it, and I didn't want that in my broth. So then I'll put my broth back in my pot just to transfer it to a different one later, because I realized that I wasn't going to have enough room in this one to make my soup. Once my onions are to the point where I want them, which is about looking like this, I'm going to set them off to the side and pour some of the broth in this pan, kind of scrape up all of the cooked bits on the bottom, because that is free flavor. And you'll notice that I did it twice. So some of it went back in with the onions that are off to the side, and then the other one goes in with the rest of the broth. And that's why you'll see some like black bits at the bottom of my soup pot there, and broth with the onions. So now that I've got these two combined, I'm going to put just a tiny pinch of chicken bouillon, some salt, pepper, and I actually end up putting lime juice in this because I just thought it would give it a really good flavor, and it did. I really love lime and lime juice. I thought that the acidity that the lime brought was very pleasant. However, if you don't like more acidic foods or you don't like lime, just leave it out. It's very optional. If you have something else that you think would go well in the French onion soup, add that in. Just taste it, see where you're at. This was absolutely amazing, and I would eat this gladly any day. In fact, I had the leftovers the next day for breakfast. That's how good this was. I know it may seem a little odd that I had this for breakfast the next day, but I try not to put certain foods in like categories, like only this can be for breakfast. If it's as good for lunch, then it can be good for breakfast. That's just how I feel. I don't show that as much in my videos because I try to be helpful, and I know that not everybody would gladly eat chili for breakfast. Anywho, here's the pot of soup with the loaf of bread, and here's my bowl, and it was fantastic. For dinner, we are doing loaded fries, so I'm taking the rest of my potatoes, and I'm going to cut them up into French fries. I'm going to drizzle them with some oil, some salt, pepper, and paprika, and then, give them a good toss and try and get them in as single of a layer as I can. Then I'm going to cook mine by baking them in the oven at 475 for about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to kind of toss them around a little bit and bake them for another 15 minutes, toss them around again, and see where they're at. I think after that I went another 5 to 7 minutes because I wanted them to be nice and crisp. I like doing them this way because then I don't have to babysit French fries, and I don't have grease popping everywhere or, splattering everywhere, and it's just a lot less mess to clean up, in my opinion. And I'm all about less mess, and I know that a lot of y'all probably are too. Of course, if you don't have paprika, or if you just don't want to use it, you can absolutely omit it, or if you want to add more seasonings, you absolutely can. I don't think the paprika does anything for the taste. I think it just makes them look prettier, in my opinion. So now I'm going to saute up the onion. Of course, I could have done this with all the other onions earlier in the day and just set it aside for now. I just didn't want to do that. Now I'm going to be cooking up the ground turkey, and I'm going to be seasoning it with some carne asada seasoning that my mom got me. However, if I didn't have that, I would just use chili powder, cumin, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper to mimic a taco seasoning. This carne asada seasoning is very delicious. It has a very strong lime flavor, and I really personally love it. So now that I've got the meat cooking up, I'm also going to chop up my tomatoes. Here's my finished fries, the cooked meat, the caramelized onions, and here is my plate. These were delicious, absolutely fantastic. As always, Jesus loves y'all, and I love y'all too. I hope y'all have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye!